Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a wildcard team ahead of game week 21. Why am I doing a wildcard team? You might be thinking, well, I can tell you now, I am not wildcarding at all. I have no reason at the minute to wildcard. I'm actually okay-ish with my team, and don't get me wrong, it could be better, but the fact that I've still got Haaland, I can still play with that. But yeah, I'm not wildcarding. This is just because the second wildcard chip is now available. So if your teams are pretty crap, like mine's been for most of the season, then why not wildcard? Some people argue it's way too early, but you can wildcard when the hell you want. It's up to you. And I'm just putting this team out there just to show you what I think is probably the best team at the minute going forward when doing a wildcard team as of now. Now, usually when I do a wildcard team, I like to target the best fixtures going forward. So you'll notice maybe a couple of players that probably aren't in your thoughts. But anyways, let's go through it then. So you can see the goalkeepers already. So let's talk about the starting goalkeeper, and that is, of course, Verbruggen. Now, I'm not going to lie, this was the last pick I had. So I targeted, obviously, the other players. The goalkeepers were the last two, really. 4.5 was the most, was what basically the money I had left over. And I basically picked the best goalkeeper with the best fixtures. And that was, of course, Verbruggen. If you look at the likes of Ipswich's fixtures, you know, they're pretty terrible. Brentford don't have the best at the minute. So, yeah, Brighton got the best fixtures at this moment in time going forward. And the backup goalkeeper is, of course, Daniel Bentley of Wolves, who is going to be playing zero football this season. The fact that he's in this team is just purely based on the fact that he's 3.9 million. He's like third choice for Wolves, so there's no chance he's going to be playing. But like I said, it's just 3.9 million, so he's just picked at random there. So those are the two goalkeepers. I mean, I do like the likes of Verbruggen, to be fair. I think he could do pretty well, if I'm being honest. I don't know him myself. Originally, I was thinking about picking Jordan Pickford in this team, but it's 5 million. How was an Everton goalkeeper 5 million? I don't know. But yeah, that was a no-no, so Verbruggen is the goalkeeper. You can see the defenders then, and starting us off, I've got Virgil van Dijk here. Decided to go for him ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold, just purely based on the fact that he is 0.8 million cheaper than Trent, and he's only scored about, I think it's less than 10 points maybe, than Trent has all season. So I think it might be like an 8-point gap. So yeah, it's not really that much of a gap considering the price difference. So it just felt like it made sense. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk is a 100% starter for Liverpool. He's not missed a single minute yet this season. He's played all 20 games and he's played 90 minutes in all of them. Not bad for a guy that people are going about maybe he's going past his prime. So yeah, for sure, 100% starter is what you want, because obviously Trent's got that problem and maybe he gets dropped occasionally with Conor Bradley. And it's just not worth it. And the same with Robertson, he can get dropped as well. And who knows who's going to play next to Virgil van Dijk. So he's the safest bet in probably the best team in the league this season. And his fixtures going forward, but not exactly too bad, if I'm being honest. So for sure, it was nailed on for me. Next up here, I've got obviously Jacob Greaves of Ipswich. This guy is literally 3.9 million. I went for the cheapest option that could start. If I had him in my team, or in this team I've got, he would just sit on my bench, if I'm being honest. He'd be probably the third bench player I'd have. I've literally got him in there just because he starts games for Ipswich, and that's about it, and he's 3.9 million. Because at the minute, Ipswich's fixtures going forward are absolutely horrendous. I'm not going to lie, they are literally horrendous. I know they've had a couple of good games recently, but I have a feeling they're going to go on a horrible run now. So, yeah, he's literally just in there just because he starts, so he won't exactly play him if I had him. Cucurella, I mean, this guy is probably going under the radar a lot, but I mean, I've been a bit disappointed with his output. He's actually only got 1 goal and 2 assists. Consider what he did in the Euros in the summer. You know, you kind of think he would have got a few more points, well, a few more goals or assists than he had, or particularly assists than he has in this season. But why have I gone for Cucurella? Well, he's definitely one of Maresca's favourite players. He's definitely, he's only left-sided defender that he's got, really, that he wants to start. So he's definitely going to start. He's only 6.9% owned, so he's quite, low owned at this moment in time. And Chelsea's fixtures aren't even exactly the worst. I mean, Bournemouth is a tricky fixture they're coming up, but Wolves is nice. Man City are all over the place. Then West Ham, Brighton, Villa, I mean, those teams are all over the place. And then you got the likes of Southampton, Leicester. So I like, you could obviously always go for like a cheaper option, like a Levi Colwill maybe, but I do like Cucurella, and that's why I've got him in there. Lewis Hall, 100% starter at this moment in time. He's 4.9 million now. I've obviously got him valued a bit cheaper at 4.6 just because I've got him. So obviously this team for me is classed as 100 million, but it's probably worth a bit more than a 100 million. So if you haven't got a great, budget, you've had a bad season, you might not be able to afford this team. But you could get rid of one player and drop him down for a much cheaper player. So don't worry about that. This is basically a squad that has got all starters apart from Bentley. So yeah, anyways, Lewis Hall, incredible for him this season. When he joined from Chelsea last season, there was high hopes for him. He was disappointing. He didn't get rid of the squad too much last season, but this season he's definitely cemented his spot at left wing back, and he's been sensational this season. He's done what I'd probably expect maybe Cucurella doing, getting 4 assists. I mean, only half now, Cucurella's got really. He's only got 2 to 4. That's not too bad, really. But anyways, I'm mumbling on. But yeah, Lewis Hall's been fantastic. Newcastle in some hot form right now. They won their last 5 league games so far this season, and they've got the likes of Wolves, Bournemouth, Southampton and Fulham coming up, so they could go on a good stretch there. So yeah, definitely fancy having him in your team. And then of course you've got to have an Arsenal defender in your team, and for me it's William Saliba, my favourite centre half for Arsenal. Obviously Gabriel scores more goals at the moment, and he's a little bit more cheaper than Saliba, so it just made sense to go for Saliba. I would have said Timber, but he's rotational risk obviously, and he's got a knocker next to his name, and who knows who ever plays on the left side. It constantly gets rotated, but William Saliba will definitely be playing, starting if he is fit, and he's always fit. Yes, he's got Spurs at home next game, and then Villa at home, which is a bit trickier. But, Arsenal have one of the best defences in the league, so I wouldn't technically worry about that. But I've got to say, though, obviously, apart from Greece, those other 4 defenders, they're pretty solid, to be fair. So, yeah, I'd be really happy if I had this defence for my team in Game Week 21 and onwards. With the midfielders then, so obviously all out attack now, so all these 5 midfielders you'll want to start in your team going forward. So first up on here, I've gone for Anthony Gordon, man in form, a team in form. Definitely got to have him in your team, I reckon, should I say. 7.5 minutes, so he is a bit cheap to be fair as well still. 20% on though, people are noticing him and going for him, so definitely need to get on him because he'll probably get a price rise sooner rather than later. 5 goals, 5 assists this season. Incredible talent. Definitely get him in your team. Like I said with Lewis Hall, the fixtures going forward are not too bad, and obviously they're in hot form. Bruno Fernandes in this team, 8.3 million, just beat Arsenal in the FA Cup. Terrible run of form at the moment in the league. Only got 1 win in their last, 8, 9 games or something like that. So they've been piss poor to be fair in the league. But why is Bruno in this team? I'm not going to lie. I put him in this team because he's got Southampton in Game Week 21. That is literally the only reason. Obviously he's their best talisman Man United's got pretty much at this moment in time, and they could go on a decent run now maybe. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath on it, but Southampton next game, that is literally the reason why I've put him in the team. No offense Southampton, but your team just leaks in goals. Cole Palmer's pretty much a must-have in my opinion in your team, a bit like the last midfielder, we'll mention him a bit later. 13 goals, 7 assists, so that's 20 returns in 20 games. What can you say about him? He's just phenomenal. It doesn't matter who he plays, he will score you goals. Eze, a man in form at the moment, scored in the FA Cup the other day against Stockport as well. So scored there, got an assist against Chelsea, scored against Southampton. I was really happy to get him in my team when I did, and I think you guys should get him in too. He's only 8.3% owned as well, so he's still quite lowly owned currently right now. He's got the likes of Leicester, West Ham, Brentford, Everton, all to come in the next 5 in the next 6. 4 in the next 5 games. So yeah, definitely be looking at getting Eze in your team. He's fit, he starts, he scores, he assists. And I think he's a penalty taker as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, and he's only 6.6 million right now. So he's a bargain, and somebody I definitely recommend getting. And of course that leaves Mohamed Salah. I've got him at minute at 13.2, but if you haven't got him, you're absolutely mental. He's 13.7 currently right now, and he's over 70% owned. So yeah, if you haven't got him, it's going to be a bit tricky to get him, but I'm assuming most people who watch these videos all have Mohamed Salah in their teams anyway. And like I said with, I can't remember who it was now. It doesn't matter, Cole Palmer, sorry. It doesn't matter who he plays, he's going to be scoring goals. So for sure, you've got to have him in your team. Overall, that is an absolute quality midfield. And you know what, I'd say Salah's got the toughest fixture out of the lot against Forest away in Game Week 21. I'm telling you now, there's no chance you drop him for Game Week 21. So that does leave me with the front three, and you'll notice straight away there's no Haaland in this team, which means there is no Man City players in this team. Might be a big shock. The reason why is because Man City, should I say, have been crap for some time. Yes, I know they absolutely battered West Ham 4-1 in their last Premier League game, and they've just won 8-0. I believe it was against Morecambe, wasn't it? Oh, was it Morecambe? Salford, sorry. It was Chelsea and Morecambe. They just battered Salford 8-0, but their fixtures going forward in the Premier League are not great. They've got Brentford away, Ipswich away. Those are probably the two easy ones, because then it's Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Spurs and Nottingham Forest. That is a horrible run. Absolutely horrible run. Haaland's barely touching the ball as it is. There is no point going for a defender because they rotate. They can see goals left, right and centre. There's nobody out there at this moment making me go, get this player in. And definitely Haaland is one I'd get rid of, to be fair. He's only 30% owned, which is mental. I own him still, and I'm definitely thinking about getting rid of him. Even though they've got a fixture, Ipswich in 22. It's really tricky because Brentford do concede. But I definitely wouldn't go for Erling Haaland if I was wildcarding my team right now. So that obviously leaves us with Isak. Now, he didn't play in the FA Cup. Maybe it's not. I reckon he just rested him because you don't need Isak playing against Bromley, do you? So going forward, the guy's in hot form at the minute right now. So let's look at his goal scoring record at the moment. So game week 14, he scored a goal, got an assist. 15, he got a goal. 16 goal and assist. 17, he scores a hat-trick. 18 goal, 19 goal, 20 goal. The guy is in hot form. 13 goals and 14 assists this season. He's the man to go for at the minute. He's 9.3 million. He's going up in price like there's no tomorrow. 54% of people are owning right now. I am not one of them. Do need to think about putting him in my team, especially when he's got Wolves at home in game week 21. So must have at this moment in time. I'm telling you now. And yeah, definitely get him in your team if you haven't got him. I know I'm looking at getting him in, and obviously the fact that I got Haaland makes it kind of an easy switch. I got Raul Jimenez alongside him. Guys just scored 2 goals against Ipswich, 2 penalties as well. Did score in the previous game as well against Bournemouth. Now he does get rotated now and again, you know, fitness issues and that. But the guy has scored 8 goals and got 2 assists this season. So yes, it is a gamble to go for him, not going to lie. But next 2 fixtures are West Ham, Leicester, and then Man United can see goals. So not exactly the worst 2 fixtures coming up, with Man United being the third one. It's just, I do like Raul Jimenez, and I think maybe it's worth taking a look at. Look, you don't have to go for him, obviously. It's just, obviously Chris Woods is a standout, but he is 6.8 million now. And the fact that he has Liverpool next, but he does have Southampton 22, is something to look at. Apart from that, you know, Slanky was somebody I was looking at, really, to go for, but I couldn't really afford him for this team. But yeah, that was it, really. There wasn't really a lot out there that I fancied going for, because Delap's got horrible fixtures, so I'm not going for him. Duran's back for Aston Villa, so would you go for Duran instead? Because obviously I have Watkins in my team, but the fact that Duran's going to be back, will he start? That's a big thing as well. So if Duran starts 5.8 million, I'd definitely probably get Duran probably in my team. But yeah, obviously last players here is Crystal Palace forward and Zach Marsh. He's not going to play a single minute. It was just, I had 4.5 million left, so that's why I used it on, really. I could have used it on a Chelsea striker, I think it was. Spurs striker, something like that, but I'm not going to waste, a Liverpool striker maybe. I'm not going to waste money on that. But yeah, that is the team I'll do for a wildcard team for this game week going forward. Obviously, you know, starting lineup, you know, it says it for itself, really. So you start, obviously, Veruggen with your starting goalkeeper. Your 2 strikers are going to be Isak and Raul Jimenez. You go 5 in midfield. So that would, of course, mean you go 3 at the back. And that will consist of Virgil van Dijk, Cucurella, and Lewis Hall, I'd say. I'd probably drop Saliba for that game week because he has got Spurs. Spurs probably lose, but they will score. That is for sure. So yeah, let me know what you think of this wildcard team. Let me know if you guys are going to be wildcarding anytime soon. And let me know what you think about this team. And also, before you go, please do not forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.